Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Deuteronomy 16 to 21, Proverbs 27, and Psalm 120. Let's get started. Observe the month of Adar and keep the Passover to the Lord your God. For in the month of Adar the Lord your God brought you out of Egypt by night. And you shall offer the Passover sacrifice to the Lord your God from the flock of or the herd, and the place that the Lord will choose to make his name dwell there. You shall eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days you shall eat with unleavened bread, the bread of affliction, for you came out of the land of Egypt in haste. And all the days of your life you may remember the day when you came out of the land of Egypt. No leaven shall be seen with you in eternity for 7 days. And shall any of the flesh that you sacrifice on the evening of the first day remain all night until morning. You may not offer the Passover sacrifice within any of the town that the Lord your God has given you, but at the place that the Lord your God will choose to make his name dwell in it. And then you shall offer the Passover sacrifice in the evening at sunset, at the time you came out of Egypt. And you shall cook it and eat it at the place that the Lord your God will choose. And in the morning you shall turn and go to your tents. For 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day it shall be solemn assembly to the Lord your God. You shall do no work on it. You shall count 7 weeks, but you begin to count the 7 weeks from the time the sickle was first put to the standing grain. And you shall keep the feast of weeks to the Lord your God with the tribute of a freewill offering from your hand. Which you shall give as the Lord your God blesses you. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your son and your daughter, your male servant and your female servant. And a Levite who is within your towns, the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow who are among you. And at the place that the Lord your God will choose to make his name dwell there, you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and you shall be careful to observe these statutes. You shall keep the feast of booths 7 days. And you have gathered in the produce of your threshing floor and your winepress. You shall rejoice in your feast, you and your son and your daughter, your male servant and your female servant, the Levite, the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow who are within your towns. For 7 days you shall keep the feast to the Lord your God at the place that the Lord will choose, because the Lord your God will bless you in all your produce and in all the work of your hands, that you will be altogether joyful. 3 times a year all your males shall appear before the Lord your God at the place that he will choose, at the feast of unleavened bread, at the feast of weeks, and at the feast of booths. You shall not appear before the Lord empty-handed. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord your God that he has given you. You shall appoint judges and officers in all your towns that the Lord your God has given you, according to your tribes. And you shall judge the people with righteous judgment. You shall not pervert justice. You shall not show partiality. And you shall not accept a bribe. For a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and severs the course of the righteous. Justice and only justice you shall follow, that you may live and inherit the land that the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not plant any tree as an Asherah beside the altar of the Lord your God that you shall make. And you shall not set up a pillar which the Lord your God hates. You shall not sacrifice to the Lord your God an ox or a sheep in which is a blemish, any defect whatever, for that is an abomination to the Lord your God. If there is found among you within any of your towns that the Lord your God is giving you, a man or woman who does what is evil in the sight of the Lord your God, in transgressing his covenant, and has gone and served other gods and worshipped them, or the sun and moon, or any of the host of heaven, which I have forbidden, and has told you, and you hear of it, then you shall inquire diligently, and it is true and certain that such an abomination has been done in Israel. Then you shall bring out to your gates that man or woman who has done this evil thing, and you shall stone that man or woman to death with stones. On the evidence of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses, the one who is to die shall be put to death. The person shall not be put to death on the evidence of 1 witness. The hand of the witness shall be first against him to put him to death, and after the hand of all the people. So you shall purge the evil from him. If any case arises requiring distinction between one kind of homicide and another, one kind of legal right and another, one kind of assault and another, any case within your town that is too difficult for you, then you shall arise and go up to the place that the Lord your God will choose. And you will come to the Levitical priest and to the judge who is in office in those days. And you shall consult them, and they shall declare to you from that place to you that decision, and you shall do according to what they declare to you from that place that the Lord will choose, and you shall be careful to do according to all that they direct you. According to the instructions that they give you, and according to the direction which they pronounced you, you shall do. You shall not turn aside to the verdict that they declare to you, either to the right hand or to the left. If any acts presumptuously by not obeying the priest, stands to minister to the law, minister there before the Lord your God, or the judge, that man shall die. So you shall perish the evil from Israel, and all people shall fear and fear and not act presumptuously again. When you come to the land that the Lord your God is giving you, and you possess it and dwell in it, and say, then I will set a king over me, like all the nations that are around you. You indeed set a king over you, and the Lord your God will choose one from among your brothers shall set a king. You shall set as king over you. You may not put a foreigner over you who is not your brother. Only he must not acquire many horses for himself, or cause the people to return to Egypt in order to acquire many horses. Since the Lord has said to you, you shall never return that way again, and you shall not acquire any wife for himself. So turn away, nor shall he acquire for himself excessive silver and gold. And when he sits on the throne of his kingdom, he shall write for himself in a book a copy of this law, approved by the Levitical priest, and it shall be with him, and he shall read in it all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, by keeping all the words of the law and these statutes, and doing them, that his heart may not be lifted up above his brothers, and that he may not turn aside from the commandment, either to the right hand or to the left, so that he may continue long in his kingdom. He and his children in Israel, with the Levitical priest, all the tribe of Levi, shall have no portion or inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the Lord's free offerings as their inheritance. They shall have no inheritance among their brothers. The Lord is their inheritance, as he promised them. And this shall be the priest's due from the people. From those offering a sacrifice, with an ox or sheep, they shall give to the priest the shoulder, and the 2 cheeks and the stomach, and the first fruits of your grain, of your wine and of your oil, and the first fleece of your sheep. You shall give him, for the Lord your God has chosen him out of all your tribes to stand and minister in the name of the Lord, him and his sons for all time. And if a Levite comes from any of your towns out of all Israel where he lives, and he may come from when he decides to the place that the Lord will choose, and ministers in the name of the Lord his God, like all his fellow Levites who stand to minister there before the Lord, he may have equal portions to eat, besides whatever he receives from the sale of his patrimony. When you come to the land that the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not learn to follow the abominable practices of those nations. And it shall not be found among you anyone who burns the sun or draws as an offering, anyone who practices divination, and tells fortune, and interprets omens, as a sorcerer, or a charmer, or a medium, or a necromancer, or one who inquires of the dead. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord your God is driving them out before you. And you shall be blameless before the Lord your God. All these nations which you are about to dismiss, listen to fortune tellers and to diviners. But as for you, the Lord your God has not allowed you to do this. And the Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from your brothers. It is to him you shall listen, just as you decide of the Lord your God, and Horeb on the table of the sun. And he said, let me not hear again of the voice of the Lord my God, or see this great fire anymore, lest I die. And then the Lord said to me, they are right in what they speak. And I will raise up for them a prophet like you, and from among their brothers, and I'll put words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I command. And whoever will not listen to my words, that he shall speak in my name, I myself will require it of him. Not the prophet who presumes to speak a word in my name that I have commanded him to speak, or who speaks in the name of other gods, that same prophet shall die. If you say in your heart, how may we know the word that the Lord has not spoken? And a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord. If the word does not come to pass or come true, that is a word that the Lord has spoken, not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You need not be afraid of him. When the Lord your God cuts off the nations whose land the Lord your God is giving you, and then you dispossess them and dwell in their cities, and in their houses. And you shall set apart 3 cities for yourselves in the land that the Lord your God is giving you to possess. You shall measure the distances and divide into 3 parts the area of the land that the Lord your God gives you as a possession, so that any manslayer can flee to them. This is the provision for the manslayer who, by fleeing the enemy, saves his life. If anyone kills a neighbor unintentionally without having hated him in the past, as when someone goes into the forest and their head slips from the hanger and strikes his neighbor so that he dies, you may flee to one of these cities and live. And as the avenger of blood in hot anger, pursue the manslayer and overtake him, because the way is long, and strike him fatally. Though the man did not deserve to die, since he had not hated his neighbor in the past. Therefore I command you, shall set apart 3 cities, and if the Lord your God enlarges your territory, that he is sworn to your fathers, and gives you all of the land that he has promised to give to your fathers, provided you are careful to keep all the commandment which I command you today, by loving the Lord your God, and by walking ever in his ways. You shall add 3 other cities to these 3, lest innocent blood be shed in your land that the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance. And so the guilt of bloodshed be upon you. But if anyone hates his neighbor and lies in wait for him and attacks him and strikes him fatally, so that he dies and he flees into one of these cities, then the elder of the city shall send him and take him from there, and hand him over to the avengers of blood, so that he may die. Your eye shall not pity him, but he shall purge the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, so that it may be well with you. And you shall not move your neighbor's landmark, which the men of old have set, and the inheritance that you will hold in the land that the Lord your God is giving you to possess. And a single witness shall not suffice against any person for a crime, or for any wrong in connection with any offense he has committed. Only on the evidence of 2 witnesses or of 3 witnesses shall a charge be established. If a malicious witness arises to accuse the person of wrongdoing, then both parties to the dispute shall appear before the Lord, and before the priests and judges who are in office those days. The judges shall inquire diligently, and if the witness is a false witness, and has accused his brother falsely, then you shall do to him as if he had meant to do to his brother. So you shall perish the evil from your midst, and the rest shall hear and fear, and shall never again commit any evil among you. Now I shall not pity, it shall be life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, and foot for foot. When you go out to war against your enemies and see horses and chariots, and an army larger than your own, you shall not be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. And when you draw near the battle, the priest shall come forward and speak to the people, and shall say to you, today you are drawing near for battle against your enemies. Let not your heart faint. Do not fear or panic or be in dread of them. For the Lord your God is he who goes with you, to fight for you against your enemies, to give you the victory. And the officers shall speak to the people, saying, is there any man who has built a new house and has not dedicated it? You let him go back to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man dedicate it. And is there any man who has planted a vineyard and has not enjoyed its fruit? Let him go back to his house, lest he die in battle and another man enjoy its fruit. And is there any man who has betrothed a wife and has not taken her? Let him go back to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man take her. And the officers shall speak further to the people, and say, is there any man who is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go back to his house, lest he make the heart of his fellows melt like his own. And when the officers have finished speaking to the people, then commanders shall be appointed at the head of the people. When you draw near to a city to find it, offer terms of peace to it. And if it responds to you peaceably and openly, then all the people who have found it shall do forced labor for you and serve you. And if it makes no peace with you, but makes war against you, then you shall besiege it. And when the Lord your God gives it into your hand, you shall put all its males to the sword. But the woman and the little ones, the livestock, and everything else in the city, all its spoil, shall take his plunder for yourselves. And you shall enjoy the spoil of your enemies, which the Lord your God has given you. Thus you shall do to all the cities that are very far from me, and it shall not cities of the nations, and the cities of the peoples that the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance. You shall save alive nothing that breathes, but you shall devote them to complete destruction. The Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And as the Lord your God has commanded, that he may not teach you to do according to all their abominable practices that they have done for their gods. And so you sin against the Lord your God. When you besiege a city for a long time, making war against it in order to take it, you shall not destroy its trees by wielding an axe against it. You may eat from them, but you shall not cut them down. Now the trees in the field are human, that they should be besieged by you. Only the trees that you know are not trees for food, that you may destroy and be cut down, and that you may build siege works against the city that makes war with you until it falls. If in the land of the Lord your God is giving you to possess, someone is found slain, lying in the open country, and it is not known who killed him, and your elders and your judges shall come out, and they shall measure the distance to the surrounding city, and the elders of the city that is nearest to the slain. And it shall take a heifer that has never worked and has not pulled a yoke. And the elders of the city shall bring the heifer down to a valley in earth running water, which is neither plowed nor sown, and shall break the heifer's neck there in the valley. And the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come forward. And the Lord your God has chosen them to minister to him and to bless in the name of the Lord. And by their word every dispute and every assault shall be settled. And all the elders of the city nearest to the slain shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the valley. And they shall testify, our hands did not shed this blood, nor did our eyes see it shed, except a tenor, O Lord, for the people Israel, whom you have redeemed. And do not set the guilt of innocent blood in the midst of your people Israel, so that for their blood guilt be atoned for. So you shall purge the guilt of innocent blood from your midst, when you do what is right in the sight of the Lord. And you go out to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God gives them into your hand, and you take them captive. And you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and you desire to take her to be your wife, and you bring her home to your house. She shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall take off the clothes in which she was captured, and shall remain in your house, and lament her father and her mother a full month. After that you may go into her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. If you no longer delight her, you shall let her go wherever she wants. But you shall not sell her for money, nor shall you treat her as a slave, as you have humiliated her. If a man has two wives, the one loved and the other unloved, and both the loved and the unloved have borne him children, and if the firstborn son belongs to the unloved, now on the day when he assigns his possessions as an inheritance to the son, you may not treat the son of the loved as the firstborn in preference to the son of the unloved, who is the firstborn. They shall acknowledge the firstborn, the son of the unloved, by giving him a double portion of all that he has, for he is the first fruits of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his. And if a man has a stubborn and rebellious son who will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and though they discipline him, will not listen to him, then his father and his mother shall take hold of him and bring him out to the elders of the city at the gate of the place where he lives. And they shall say to the elders of the city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of the city shall stone him to death with stones. So you shall purge the evil from your midst, and all Israel shall hear and fear. And if a man is committed a crime punishable by death, and he is put to death, then you hang him on a tree. Then his body shall not remain all night on the tree, but you shall bury him the same day. For a hangman is cursed by God. You shall not defile the land that the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance. Proverbs 27. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. Let another praise you, not your own mouth, a stranger, not your own lips. The stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but false provocation is heavier than both. Wrath is full and anger is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Better is open rebuke than hidden love. Better, faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy. One who is full lies honey, but to one who is hungry everything good is sweet. And like a bird that strays from its nest is a man who strays from his heart. The one who perfume makes the heart glad, and the sweetness of a friend comes from his friend's counsel. Do not forsake your friend and your father's friend, and do not go to your brother's house in the day of your calamity. There is a neighbor who is near than a brother who is far away. Be wise, my son, and make my heart glad, that I may answer him who reproaches me. The prudent sees danger and hides himself, but the simple go on and suffer for take a man's gun when he has put up security for a stranger, hold in pledge when he puts up security for an adulteress. And whoever blesses his name with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, will become as cursing. A continual dripping on a rainy day is an quarrelsome wife for our life. To strain hands to a strained wind, or to grasp oil in one's right hand. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. Another tends a fig tree will eat his fruit, and he who guards his master will be honoured. As a water face reflects face, so the heart of man will reflects the moon. Children are better than never satisfied, and never satisfy out the eyes of men. The rooster is for silver, and the furnace is for gold, and a man is satisfied his praise. Crush full in a mortar with a pestle, along with crushed grain. Yet folly will not depart from you. Know by the condition of your flocks, and give attention to your herds, for riches do not last forever. And does the crown endure to all generations? When the grass is gone, a new growth appears, and the vegetation of the mountains is gathered. The lambs will provide your clothing, and the goats the price of the food. There will be enough goat's milk for your food. There will be the food of your household, and maintenance for your girls. Psalm 120. In my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me, and delivered me, O Lord, from lying lips, and from a deceitful tongue. What shall be given to you, and what more shall be done to you, you deceitful tongue? Warriors sharp arrows, with glowing coals of the broom tree. Woe to me that I sojourn in Meshach, that I dwell among the tents of Kedar. Too long have I had my dwelling among those who hate peace. I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war. Another son, I shall now to the Lord's prayer. Please my hands, the Father in heaven, now I be on earth. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You will stay out of bread. Forgive us the debts, as you receive forgiven our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.